You are now rocking with the best, back again with another 9.9 episode. Welcome to Heroes After Dark, where we discuss life, love, and the pursuit of that comic grail. Before we begin, we have to thank you for joining us. Please hit that like button like you're launching Cerebro. And of course, you got to subscribe like it's the Daily Bugle. The heroes are assembled, and we've got something special tonight. We're talking about America's favorite book, the world's favorite book, Amazing Spider-Man 129. Is it a trap?
Let's get into it.
The heroes have some strong opinions. This, of course, before we begin, we have to say one thing. This is not investment advice. We are not Charles Schwab or Principal Fidelity or any of those. We are comic people that like to look at data. And we're going to take a deep dive looking at 129. And we're going to answer the question, is Amazing Spider-Man a grail or a trap? Or maybe it's both. So heroes, let's get into it. I think first of all we got to talk. How do you feel about 129?
It's a book. I mean, it's kind of a book you must have. I think, if you're a Punisher fan, even just in that Spider-Man run, it's one of those keys that you need to have. I feel in the collection.
Champ.
So for me, it's definitely a collectible. If you're an ASM fan, if you're a Daredevil fan, obviously if you're a Punisher fan, it is a must-have book to have in the PC. Cannot deny the fact that it is a must-have if you fall into that category, or if you're the kind of person that likes chasing just first appearances of significant characters that move the storyline. That falls into that category as well.
Fair enough. So is it a trap, gentlemen?
Miller?
We'll see.
I said we'll see.
Yeah.
I have a stronger opinion than Miller does, right? So for me, I think it's a volatile book. That's the way I describe it whenever we have discussions about certain books. This book is, to me, one of those books that just falls into that category because it just fluctuates too much. However, and I'm sure you're going to present the data in a moment here, you'll probably see that only occurs on certain grades. But still, it's a good book for trade. For me personally, right? It works whenever I want to do a trade, but I don't necessarily chase after that book. So I'll leave it with that.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say it is. We're gonna look at the data. We all can agree it's a grail for sure.
Yeah.
It's a Bronze Age grail. I mean, let's get into the particulars. ASM. It was published February 1974, so it's 49 years old.
Yeah.
Artist John Romita. Got to give it up. Mr. Romita, rest in peace. Check. Writer Jerry Conway, he created the Punisher. Check. Now, we see tons of grades on that book. When you see it on Instagram, you see it on at the shop. When you see it at the con, you see all sorts of grades. You see, I've seen 2 O's. I've seen a 0.5 of 129 before. Why? I have no idea. And then of course, the 9.8, which is ridiculously expensive right now.
And you just look at that cover too. That yellow cover.
Yeah, the sniper.
Yeah, it stands out, and you find that
iconic.
Iconic.
Yeah,
and you know what? I'm a sucker for yellow covers too, bro. And that one right there, along with some of the Daredevil covers.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it just pops. It's an amazing cover.
For sure.
Amazing. Yeah.
And like what you said, for the street level heroes, you can't deny Daredevil, Spider-Man, those are the books that I collect. Those are 2 of my favorite characters. I will naturally gravitate towards the 129. But what's been interesting is that probably for the past 60 days, I've been looking for a 129, have the money, so don't slide in the comments and try to sell one to me. Not right now. Look at the data. But have not pulled the trigger on one. And it's a book that I love. And why was because after looking at the data, you said something very interesting, because I wasn't sure where I wanted to go. I was like, maybe I'll just buy like a 6.5 or 7.0, nothing crazy. I mean, but I mean, now with the market being the way it is, I mean, books have dropped value significantly. I was like, maybe I might bump into an 8.5.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now, the interesting thing is the most commonly slabbed grade of ASM 129 is a 8.0. It is not the low grade. It's 8.0. Most commonly slabbed grade. So
that's pretty high. That's pretty high.
It is pretty high.
For almost a 50-year-old book.
Correct. So we need to look at the data on the 8.0. And I think that is going to answer Champ's question about, is it volatile or is it
by the way, the highest grade I've ever had was a 7.0.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. So keep that in mind. I want to keep that in mind as well as we go along this journey. So go for it.
Okay.
Data. Numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie. Men lie, women lie, but the numbers don't. So 8.0. So we see right now the market is down. The book is on the low. Last sale, $19.99. Now, total books sold, 911 copies. Wow. It is the most commonly held grade for the 129. This is what, but unfortunately, it's not a grade that we see very often. Usually if you see on at the shops, it's a lower grade, which to Champ's point, that's where we see something that's interesting that happens with those lower grades. So we look at this last sale, $19.99, $19.27, $28.50, which by the way was the highest.
Yeah.
$23.69. We have an outlier. Somebody stole that book for $909. Don't know who.
Congrats.
Yeah, I wish it was. Congrats to them. Salute. But 1957, 1900, 1920, 2200, 2175.
Okay.
Interesting. Not a lot of volatility on that. You see total books again, 911. Highest price was $28.50. That was in November. The lowest price was $18.50. The variance is $1,000.
Yeah,
$1,000 variance between, because I didn't count that $900 one. To me, that's
outlier.
Outlier. And of course, GPA is pulling numbers from the auctions. They're pulling from eBay. So who knows? Somebody might have been asleep, set the auction for middle of the night, and of course, somebody won. Good for them. But it's $1,000 variance. That's the change. Now, let's look at the lower grade, because I think that's where that's what's gonna really kick off the conversation and take this where we see something that's very telling with ASM 129.
Okay.
So this is a 5.0.
5.0. Okay.
5.0. So we see down, just like everything else. The whole market is down.
There's 405.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see total books.
Total books. Yeah. Total books.
All of the books graded.
Mm-hmm. We can look at that. So this one,
look at that.
Total books sold 405. So almost more than half of what was sold in the higher grade. Let's look at these numbers. 925, 1000, 1075, 988, 970, 865.
Wow.
So it jumps around, but not by much.
No.
It's $1,000 book, bro.
It's $1,000 difference you can kind of see on average.
On average. But this one doesn't jump around quite like, the initial thought is, because I've heard, from different collectors, you got to buy 129 in the high grades, 9.0 and up.
Yeah.
And then others say, you get what you can afford. Because, some of us, we follow that advice. Get the book, whatever grade you can afford, that's what you need to buy.
Yeah.
And so the lower grades, even though, the gateway is 1,000, hasn't changed much. Highest price, March 2023, $1,700. Lowest price, $1,050. The variance was only $650.
Yeah.
It's significant though.
Significant, but is it as significant as the $1,000 variants?
Well, you're talking 6, 7. You're talking about 3 full points though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see, like on a 9.4. I was told by a few people, like, that's the grade you want to get.
The 9.4.
The 9.4. It's pretty affordable. It's not getting too crazy with the 9.6 and 9.8.
All right.
Who are these people?
That's what I want to know. It's pretty affordable. If you think that that's pretty affordable, please jump in the comments and let me know, because I want to know how.
Look at that 9.4.
How a 9.4 last sale $4,320. How is that an affordable book? That's a little car.
Let's look at the numbers. Let's scroll down a little bit.
So tiny car.
Yes.
Okay.
Now this is where it gets funny. 4,320, 3,400, 4,700, 4,200. And then you saw in July it jumped up almost 6,000. Then it jumped back.
Got thirsty.
Yeah, somebody got thirsty, spent almost 6, and then it dropped back down.
Yep.
So the volatility is the
books?
actual it's the inverse.
All right, so let's take a look at the census real quick, right? There's a total of 17,340 copies on census in the CGC census. Let me clarify that. Out of which there is 185 9.8s. From there, this is very, very significant. There's 525 9.6s. Hard book to get in the 9.8.
Yeah.
So we were talking about an 8.5. There's 1,513 copies in that grade. The grade that I sold in was a 7.0. 1,451.
Wow, there's less.
That's not that big of a difference in census wise availability, and yet the price difference is there, significant by a lot. And like Wooly said, I mean, there's some people that got it graded at a 0.5, and there's 60 copies of that book in that grade. Honestly, man, if your book is of a certain grade, I'll give you this a piece of advice, and it's not even something people have asked me or anything like that, but this book is not something that you should slab at a 0.5. Just keep it raw.
Yeah.
Just keep it raw, just enjoy the book, just enjoy having the book at that point. That's my opinion on that. I think if you feel like your book is a 6.5 without a press and a clean, and you might get a 7.0, and you got a pretty fair deal on it, yeah, absolutely slab it. And if it's for yourself, I mean, slab it all day if you want to keep it, I guess. But don't go ham on it. That's all unwarranted advice, but that's the way I view it. So 17,340 copies.
Wow.
49-year-old book
as of today.
Yeah.
Next month there might be 10 more. The month after that it might be 10 more. So do with that what you will.
I don't see, especially in the times we're in now, I don't see a company really pushing a Punisher in any type of shows or any movies and stuff like that, just because of the way the Punisher is portrayed. So I don't see them kind of really stepping forward and making anything new. I think that kind of drives some of these sales and some of the books, as far as you see these spikes and highs and lows. And I don't see, there's nothing in the news saying that this book's gonna perform better in a few months because of something possibly coming out. So,
and see, that's an interesting point, because I agree that if you're now, as a comic investor, put your investor hat on.
Yeah.
If you're being driven by speculation because of the MCU, in my opinion, you missed the boat already. Because we've seen this, in the past 14 years, we saw how a movie or a TV show would directly impact comic sales. You see, you get a first appearance, and then people, the book jumps up, double, triple, whatever. And then the spec that goes, past beyond that, when people are saying, okay, well, the next movie is going to be this character or in that character, and the books go up and they go to these high highs, and then if that doesn't happen in spec, they go to the low lows. But we're now at a point where the MCU, and again, from my perspective, that the MCU, it's saturated. I mean, we had Kang a year or two ago that crisscrosses all throughout with different teams. and it did absolute nothing.
Yeah.
No, it actually negatively
jumped.
impacted the book.
Yeah. It was, worth a lot of money, especially everyone speculating on Kang being the next Thanos, basically.
Yeah,
what they're going to do is they're going to do a few movies with them. I think, the actor kind of getting a little trouble kind of hurt the character, especially moving forward. But that book jumped up. I mean, I remember people speculated on Kang, like, those prices were crazy, you know, before that movie came out.
For sure. But I think now in terms of our conversation now, it shouldn't be driven by if there's news about the Punisher. I mean, right now in comics, Frank Castle isn't even the Punisher anymore. In the new comics, in the modern books that just came out now. I mean, he's got a starfish or a mitochondria or something. I don't know what he's got on his chest now. I mean, it is I don't know what that is. An anemone. Is this whole thing? It's not even the Punisher. I mean, and I think it's certainly, I think the 129 is a grail, no matter what. It is a Bronze Age grail. If you're going to buy the book and you're thinking investment, it is a long-term hold. At 13% annualized return, it's incremental. It's going to go up in value, but it's not a lotto ticket. You're not going to buy the book for 2K and then make 10K in 2 years. That's stupid. It's just not happening. Not right now. And I don't think ever, because even though the Punisher checks the boxes for most of us, he's a Marine, he carries weapons, he shoots guns, he does all that stuff, all the stuff that if you're an older collector you love because it reminds you of Rambo or or the Terminator.
Exactly what I was thinking about.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the stuff, if you grew up on those action movies, then you love Frank Castle as the Punisher. He punishes everybody. He gives zero to whatever vibes. But that's not the age that we are in culturally, where you ain't gonna see some dude. I mean, now people associate his logo with something that's completely different from the comics.
Fair.
I think we're a little jaded, particularly this group here, this group of heroes, because we see this book. I've seen this book in just about every grade there is. We have friends that are collectors that have this book in high grades. Seen it there, had multiple copies in hand. So
it's a book that you see at every con almost, and you can find this book. It's not one of those books that you need to, if you see it, you got to buy it right away. You can kind of wait, kind of see where the market goes, and then pick it up whenever. It's one of those books. I mean, for 2K, like I said, I was in the market for it, and then I'm like, I don't really need to spend that. There's other books I'd rather have. I mean, I'm just as happy, and this is going to sound ridiculous, I'm just as happy with the facsimile. I got 5 of those. That's fine.
You know what's funny? You actually get more return on your investment on the facsimiles than you do on the original copy. I'm not even exaggerating. If you paid cover price on that facsimile, you could probably flip it for 20 right now, which is more than double what you paid for it. For some reason, if you slab it, people are willing to pay over $100 for it, which I don't get. But hey, the motto, right? Purchase what you like, collect what you love. So by all means, do you. So if you look at those numbers, better return on the facsimile. Why is that?
I think because
like to have them on the wall.
It's a book that it stands out. If you're a collector, it fits in. When you think about it, for $2,000, you could probably get a low grade Daredevil 1.
Oh yeah, right now, absolutely.
Right now, but people probably feel like it's more of a flex with the 129.
That's a whole different conversation, but I disagree with that.
I disagree with it.
I can see that. I can see that just because, I mean, you see a 129 more than you see a Daredevil 1, I feel. Like if you're going around, so they walk up or go to a con, like, I got that book. Everyone's, oh, wow, okay, first Punisher. Daredevil, people are like, what? what is that? Or
Yeah.
you know,
What is it?
they're gonna-
And it's
they're gonna
and I
ask the question.
yeah, and the cover is not as it's not a yellow cover. It's not as sexy as Punisher with a sniper rifle, the crosshairs
Yeah.
that are on Spider-Man. I mean, that's why I said it checks all
Yeah.
the boxes. The skull insignia on the chest. I mean,
It's
that's
funny.
wild.
Even as you're describing the book, it puts a smile on my face because like everything about that covers. I think the reason why the facsimiles do well is because it's the cover.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're looking for that art, and the reality is they knocked it out of the park. That
For
cover
sure.
is amazing. It's right there with 181.
Mhm.
Regardless of whether you like the story inside the book, the cover is it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
Romita killed it, and that's the funny thing that is most people don't even realize it's Romita.
Yeah. Well, too, like you look at the census too, with over 17K slab. This is the first time with the facsimile that you have a chance to touch the book, open the book, read it. Like with the slab, you just look at it. Oh, it's a cool cover, but you have a chance with that grade to do whatever you want with it, and you don't feel pressure on. Well, I don't want to ruin this book. I should send it in, get it slabbed. You know, you have those kind of feelings when you have a book that's maybe that pricey.
Effectively, these guys read them. That's what they're there for. That's why they reprint them for you to read them.
Yeah.
Buy 3 if you want, or buy 2, one to keep and one to read. Definitely read it though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think if I bought the 129, I would have to have it next to a Daredevil 183, where the Punisher is shooting Daredevil with the UWAP.
Yeah.
Bananas. That's mutabella.
That's the starter kit right there.
Yeah. You gotta have it.
All the other joints. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta have that. So that would be where I would be like, yeah, that would be for the wall, because I would have to have the Punisher, those 2 covers, the Batman covers, the McFarlane ones where he's holding heat. Yeah, I gotta have the Second Amendment wall. I gotta have the 2A wall straight up. Yeah, that's for me. That would be where I'd be like, that's where I would go with it. But,
this man wakes up to that wall every day.
Looking at it.
Salute.
It goes to work.
It goes to work. Yeah. I think it's a trap in a lower grade. It's a trap in a higher grade. Those are our takeaways. You decide if it's a trap. Of course, keep looking for those grails. Keep buying those books. There'll be more episodes. We got this upcoming season, we got a ton of books that we're going to look at, including grails, and we're going to answer that question: are all Star Wars books a trap?
Terrible.
I got thoughts. I got feelings on that book, on Star Wars.
Yeah, we all do.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, you guys good? I think we're good on this one, right? I mean, we all agreed on this one. So
yeah.
All right. Well, on that note,
hit us up in the comments and let us know what you guys think. So till next time, right?
Till next time. Yep. Hit that button and subscribe. Peace.